All right, hello everyone. What I have here is a 6.2 liter, and I have a 2011 Cadillac Escalade that I'm doing the oil pressure sensor change. I'm already removed everything. This video is kind of just more of an informational video, just to kind of let you know some of the things I did. I will tell you that it was pretty straightforward taking off the air intake just to get to the back. There's the sensor right there. Once I had the air intake off, it all came apart pretty quick and easy. Of course, don't forget with the oil pressure sensor there that the little white tab has to come up on the electrical connector, and then at that point the little black tab that you see there in the center of the white, you just press on that with your thumb, and then the whole assembly pops off. Then you can use a 1 1/16 or 27 millimeter socket, and that it fits it perfectly, and it'll unscrew and come off. And inside of there is a filter. Don't forget to change that filter. When you buy a new oil pressure sensor, it should come with the new little filter, which I'll show you here in just a second. So I just wanted to make a short video just to kind of give you an idea of some of the things I came across. Like I said, it's kind of in reverse order of what you would expect, but maybe you'll get something out of this that'll help you along the way. Once you get that off, you'll notice these heads. I cleaned them. I used a brass brush and some parts cleaner and just wiped it down and tried to clean the mating surfaces up the best I can to get things ready to go to get put back in. So it wasn't real difficult to get everything off. You know, I just took off right here on the left. Here is the pulley that you just put a socket on and bend it down, and that belt will pop right off. And then I took the alternator off. It's just these two bolts and the hot lead and one electrical connector on the back of the alternator, and it was off in less than a minute or two, pretty quick. And it's just a lot of electrical harness disconnecting, unplugging the fuel injectors. There's just various miscellaneous places for plugging in, and once you kind of get it as loose as you can, this whole harness will move out of the way so you can get into the center section here. So I had to remove all of this just to get to that plug, which was a little bit of a pain. There's some videos I know that can have you reach your hand back there, but my hands are just too big and just a little too frustrating for me. So I will say the skill level to do this is medium to low, really. It's all very straightforward. If you just take your time, it'll only take you a couple hours to get this apart. And it's pretty straightforward. Just if you know how to put a socket on a bolt and unscrew it, there's really no reason at all you won't be able to do this. It's got a pretty good design to it, so it is fairly easy to take apart. I'll admit I was a little nervous at first, but now that I've done it, there's really nothing to be nervous about it. Just get in there, don't be afraid to tackle it, and just start at the first bolt you see and just start taking it apart. A couple other things to share with you that may or may help you is, so here is the part that I took off, which is the air intake. And you can see the gaskets I've got here. I bought new gaskets. I'll show you. These are the old ones, so make sure that you buy these when when you do this. Don't reuse the old ones there. So that, but yeah, this whole top half here is just plastic. It's very lightweight. I can lift it with one hand and spin it around. On the back side, which is like if you were trying to reach your hand back here, you've got this plastic cover plate. It's got a connector here for an oil plug, so you don't want to miss unplugging that when you're taking everything apart. But all along the sides here, you've got where your fuel injectors go, 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side, and then these are where the bolts go. When you go to put this thing back in, look up online. It'll tell you the bolt pattern for putting it in. But one that I read was when you go to put this back in, you just, like down the driver's side, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4. and then on the other side, actually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the other side it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the bolt holes. And then you got to start in the middle, and then you just keep bouncing back and forth in order to tighten this thing down evenly when you go to put it back in. And if you look it up online, it'll tell you the pattern, starting at 3, then going to, I believe, 7, and then just keeps bouncing back and forth. Tighten everything down to about 45 inch-pounds, and then once you go through it one time, you go retighten it to about 90 inch-pounds, and that'll be your torque settings. But just look it up online. Don't take my word for anything. Look it up online. And then just to flip this over real quick, so just flipping this upside down, you can kind of get an idea of what the underneath. And again, I mentioned to go ahead and put some new gaskets. These are the new ones I bought. So I got these at AutoZone. I will tell you that this is by Felpro, and it came with new O-rings for your fuel injectors. I had bought a separate pack of O-rings, like 25 bucks or something, and so that I might not have needed. I'll probably have to take that back. So just know, if you get the Felpro pack, that it does come with O-rings, and if you end up taking off the front part of that air compressor, it comes with the front part of the air intake, that it does come with, you know, another gasket. I'm not using this. I didn't take that off, but I will do that with, you know, using these on my injectors over here. So yeah, definitely want to get some new gaskets, and they just clip right on very easily. You don't use any type of sealant or anything when you go to put that air intake back on. It's made to be a dry placement. So I just want to show you real quick on the fuel rail. So I took the fuel rail off. While I've got it off, I'm going to go ahead and replace all these little, you got a couple of O-rings here. You just pop this clip off, and then this will come right out, and then you just replace those 2 O-rings. I did buy some of this Permatex O-ring lubricant that I will use as a little bit of a lubricant to put on these for when I go to put it back in the car. So there's 8 of them, and I'll say that so when it sets in the car originally, what I had to do, you'll notice that there are 2 bolt holes, and that's what bolts the fuel rail to the air intake. And then once I took those bolts off of there, I had to get like a wedge, like a screwdriver or a pry bar, and just put underneath and lift up on these tabs. You can kind of grab it with your hand and work it, and it'll just pop right up and come out in your hand. It comes off in your hand. Don't forget that you're going to need one of these gadgets. These are for releasing the fuel line on the fuel rail. So back here on this little area right back up in here. So this is just the little gadget that you got to have in order to get the fuel line to come off, and then you undo these 2 bolts, and then this whole thing will come right out in your hand. So yeah, I highly recommend go ahead and do new O-rings on your injectors. If you have the thing off, might as well, you know, might as well. So so when you do go put it back together, that it should go, you know, back together pretty square. You know, it's like I said, it's not too difficult to put together. It wasn't difficult at all taking apart. I should have it together in no time. But just, you know, take your time, do a good job, put your proper torque values down on your intake, and just take your time and make sure you got all of your electrical hooked back up again, and then you'll be in great shape. So I hope this has helped you out a little bit, and if you got any questions, I'll try to answer them if you put in the comments below. But good luck on your project, and you'll do good. Thanks. Well, it's a few hours later now, and I've got everything back together. No issues really. Everything went together pretty much as I planned. The only thing that I want to recommend and put as a little add-on to this video is the only thing I would have done different is I would have did a little bit better job of marking which electrical plugs go to which fuel injector. So that was a little bit of a perplexing situation when I was looking at that, going, oh boy, which one went to what? I did take some pictures ahead of time, so that's what saved me. Just went back, looked at my photos. So just make sure you take good pictures of what you unplug and where the routing is of the cables and the hoses. You'll be happy. It's better to have more photos than not enough. So just don't be afraid to take lots of photos. And just remember, you can label the cylinders 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then over here, I'm sorry, not the cylinders, but the injectors 1, 2, 3, 4. And then over here, the injectors 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that just helps you, like if you were to mark the, like put a piece of tape around the electrical plugs, that would really be a time saver if you took the time to do that. But it just takes some pictures at a minimum, and that way you can get it all put back together. But I've already started it, and there's a lot of work just to change that one switch back there, but at least I got to get a good look at the motor and make sure it's all put together properly and it's all in good shape. So we're in good shape. So all right, hope you enjoyed the video.